I'm Mark Stewart. Hello, Hartford. I'm sometimes known as Stewart for Hartford. I am running for the General Assembly seat to put a lot of values back where they once were. I'm a Democrat. I'm running as an independent because the Democrats have been disappointing. In philosophy, you might call me a libertarian. Now, that's what Democrats used to be. Democrats were for liberty, for protecting freedom, for protecting rights. At this time, Democrat leaders are the opposite. Okay? I don't say that about voters, but I don't think our leaders represent our voters very well. Nationally, Democrat leaders want to govern your lives. Locally, it's a little better, not much. And for the Democrat leaders here that find that there are exceptions to this rule, I'd like you to step up. This would help save the state. Having Democrats be split into what ideologically their leaders have done already. And unfortunately, Democrats all come together come voting time. Well, I'm trying to be a wedge, a sensible one, between the sensible Democrats who should like me and those who want a socialist, big government, regulate you like crazy state. Those leaders have been taxing you for years, more and more and more. It's a sign that the Democrat leaders, they don't care enough. Now, look, are they taxing the wealthy? A little bit, but they don't pay proportionately more. So with that extra money, they set up some programs. They help a few people with these government programs, but those are the people who are on the ends. That's very likely not you. Meanwhile, you're supporting those people who are on the ends, and they're not necessarily the neediest of people in the first place. People who suck up to benefits, who explore what government can do for them, are the ones who get rewarded. Meanwhile, the rest of us, we don't have time for that. We're working. And Democrat leaders don't respect working enough. They also don't respect how people in Hartford, who are generally poorer than the rest of the state, they're getting socked in property taxes. They're getting socked in, I'll call them predatory companies like towing companies, that Hartford's given the authority to just clamp on to your car when for even 30 seconds it's in the wrong spot. And now, even if you're about to move it out of that spot, that clamp has legislative authority to cost you $90. Pay up now, or you're going to go to the towing place where they can keep your car at a $90 every 2 days rate. So 2 days later, let's say it's a weekend, your bill is doubled. Private industry should be allowed to do what they want, but they don't do that with the towing companies. They give them territory, and they have a statutory rate. You can't negotiate when that clamps on your car and there's that fee right off the bat. This is over 30 years ago, sued a a-hole tow company operator, Robert Spillane, who would intentionally close his yard at like 3:30 on a Friday, not to open it until Monday, so he would get 3 days of storage fee rental for the cars that he aggressively towed. Well, he's long gone, thankfully, but we have whiteys, and they're equally aggressive. Nationally, how are Democrats really helping people in Hartford? The majority of Hartford is African American, and that means they are on the losing end of the national acceptance of Social Security. It is a ripoff, but it is an especial ripoff to people whose life expectancy isn't as high. African American life expectancy is lower than that of whites. African Americans, according to life expectancy tables, males born 50 years ago, expectation, life expectancy, 67 years. You work until you're 65, you get 2 years worth of benefit. Whites, life expectancy longer, it's about 73 years. So they get 8 years worth of benefit. It's a 4-to-1 difference. And we enshrine this. And people have pointed out how the biggest differentiator between black and white status is acquired wealth. Well, when a Social Security tax of 15.6% is extracted on you year after year after year, you have a hard time acquiring wealth. Blacks usually pay into the system longer, and they get out less. African Americans should be irate at their Democrat leaders who have supported this system. And maybe worst, it's the Democrats who support government welfare. It's an evil. It is what ties people to government and gives them lassitude, less willingness to work on their own. It's hard to break out when you're getting a free check for doing almost nothing. Work a few months, then choose to quit. Your labor department isn't going to put up guff. The employer will now pay you for unemployment insurance. Our government gives no questions asked food stamps, no questions asked or few questions asked housing vouchers. And these are people who can work. By and large, they can work. But they take advantage of the system, and we are suckers. Other people know we're suckers because when they, outside of Connecticut, hit hard times, here comes the truck. They're coming up to Connecticut, and they go on a welfare benefit system. It's starting a cycle. It's really a swirling vortex that's going to suck us down of having the productive people leaving the state, the less productive who can get welfare benefits from the rest of us coming and taking more and more of our industrious hard-earned money. We should stop being suckers. Traditional Democrat leaders did not do that. They believed in work. Okay? John F. Kennedy would not be in this party anymore. I'm not sure even Bill Clinton of 1992 could have been elected by the leaders of this party as it is now. This party deserves to be broken up. Its leaders deserve to be sidelined. Or be robust, but call yourselves what you really are. You are communists. Communists believe, well, it's a split group because some of them go along with the stupid belief that just because you exist, that other people owe you wealth or a good standard of living that they work hard for. Other communists, the leaders, are the ones who basically gain power by having a big government system. Hartford's been suffering too long under big government control. It is time we release the inner people of Hartford who can do very well without the government's benefits and without the oppressive taxation and without the big regulation. Your Democrat leaders do not represent you well. There are some of us who do. I am still a Democrat, but I'm running as an independent. Please look me up more at stewartforhartford.com.